Hello, hello, hello. Not you, Echo. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the stream. How many chapters does Nehemiah have? 13. 13. It's a little longer. All right. Where are we at? We're on Ezra 6. About to read about Darius, Israel rebuilding the second temple. And then in chapter 7, we'll get into Ezra showing up on the scene. I should probably get right into it. All right. Chapter 6. Then Darius the king made a decree, and search was made in the house of the rolls, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. And there was found at Achmetha, in the palace that is in the province of the Medes, a roll, and therein was a record thus written. In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of God at Jerusalem. Let the house be builded, the place where they offered sacrifices, and let the foundations thereof be strongly laid, the height thereof 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 60 cubits, with 3 rows of... Oh, we're doing schematics of the temple again. Yet again. Very important that you know the blueprints, the architecture of the temple. So basically, this is when the who is it? Or is it Babylonians? No. The Apharsachites. The Apharsachites have come along because Darius is starting to build the temple. And they're like, yo, who said you could do this? And they're like, Darius said we could, or Cyrus said we could do this. And you said, wait, now we're doing it under Darius. It's part of the agreement. And they're like, where's this agreement? We need to see this agreement. So they sent them back to find these scrolls where Cyrus had written about the house of God. So now they see that, they're going to let them build it. 3 rows of great stones and a row of new timber, and let the expenses be given out of the king's house. And also let the golden and silver vessels of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took forth out of the temple, which is at Jerusalem. Yeah. And brought unto Babylon, be restored, and brought again unto the temple which is at Jerusalem, every one to his place, and place them in the house of God. Now therefore, Tatnai, governor beyond the river, Shetharboznai, and your companions, the Apharsachites, which are beyond the river, be ye far from thence. Get away from here. Go away. Let us do our thing. Let the work of this house of God alone. Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews build this house of God in his place. Moreover, I make a decree what ye shall do to the elders of these Jews for the building of this house of God, that of the king's goods, even of the tribute beyond the river, forthwith expenses be given unto these men, that they be not hindered. And that which they have need of, both young bullocks and rams and lambs, for the burnt offerings of the God of heaven, wheat, salt, wine, and oil, according to the appointment of the priests which are at Jerusalem, let it be given them day by day without fail, that they may offer sacrifices of sweet savors unto the God of heaven, and pray for the life of the king and of his sons. Also, I have made a decree that whosoever shall alter this word, let timber be pulled down from his house, and being set up, let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this. That verse go hard. Savage. Savages. And the God that hath caused his name to dwell there, destroy all kings and people that shall put to their hand to alter and to destroy this house of God, which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree. Let it be done with speed. Then Tatnai, governor on this side the river, Shetharboznai, and their companions, according to that which Darius the king had sent, so they did speedily. And the elders of the Jews builded, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. And they builded and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius, and Artaxerxes king of Persia. And this house was finished on the 3rd day of the month Adar, which was in the 6th year of the reign of Darius the king. And the children of Israel, the priests and the Levites, and the rest of the children of the captivity, kept the dedication of this house of God with joy, and offered at the dedication of this house to God 100 bullocks, 200 rams, 400 lambs, and for a sin offering for all Israel 12 he-goats, according to the number of the tribes of Israel. And they set the priests in their divisions, and the Levites in their courses for the service of God, which is at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moses. And the children of captivity kept the Passover upon the 14th day of the 1st month. For the priests and the Levites were purified together, all of them were pure, and killed the Passover for all the children of the captivity, and for their brethren the priests, and for themselves. And the children of Israel which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel, did eat. I like that verse. The children of Israel which were come again out of captivity, and all such as had separated themselves unto them from the filthiness of the heathen of the land, to seek the Lord God of Israel, did eat, and kept the feast of unleavened bread 7 days with joy. For the Lord had made them joyful, and turned the heart of the king of Assyria unto them, to strengthen their hands in the work of the house of God, the God of Israel. So they're building the temple. Enter Ezra. Ezra got bars. Enter Ezra. Ezra's stepping in right now. So now we're going to switch. So now we're going to jump ahead about a century, 50 to 100 years. And Ezra's going to be writing in first person now. So there's a time skip here. Now, after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Marioth, the son of Zerahiah, the son of Uzi, the son of Buki, the son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of... It's still in third person. When do they start going to first person? The son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests according to the hand of the Lord, his God, upon him. This is still in third person, but this is after the time skip. So now Ezra shows up. And there went up some of the children of Israel, and of the priests, and the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims, unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king. What is Nethinims? Not Nephilims. Nethinims. The Nethinim, or Nethinims, in older King James translations, were a group of temple servants in ancient Israel, meaning given ones, or those set apart. Primarily of foreign descent and assigned to the Levites, they performed menial practical tasks like cutting wood and carrying water for the tabernacle and later the temple. Their origins are debated, potentially stemming from Gibeonites made slaves by Joshua or from Midianite captives. But by the time of the Babylonian exile, they are a recognized group with their own families and leaders who returned to help rebuild the temple. Look at that. Joshua takes slaves, and then hundreds of years later, those slaves are established and they're builders and they're respected and they're helping the culture and the society. Look at that. Wow. So they could have been wiped off the face of the earth, right? Joshua or Joshua could have wiped them off the face of the earth. God could have, well, remember in Joshua, it says that Israel doesn't win the wars. Joshua doesn't win the wars. God wins the wars. When he asked the angel, whose side are you on? And he said, I'm not on your side or their side. There is no side but God's side. God determines who wins wars. There is no good side or bad side. It's whoever the good side is the side God says is gonna win. You don't win the wars. God wins the wars. One day I'm gonna have to do a full breakdown of divine command theory from my perspective with my so I heard Easy was doing a TikTok purge the other day, and some atheists were asking the typical atheist question of, is God always good? Yes, God's always good. Or where does morality come from? Well, my morals, Christian ethics, my morals are grounded in God and my Christian ethical position of God. And they said, okay, so if God's always good, what about when the flood killed everybody and it was just Noah and his family left? How did they repopulate the earth? Basically, they're implying incest. They're saying incest, incest, incest. And a lot of Christians don't want to bite this bullet. They'll even go as far as saying, well, maybe other people survived in other areas, so there wasn't actually any incest. If you're going to be consistent with it and biblical with it, everyone died except Noah and his family. They were the only ones left, and they repopulated the earth. So you bite the bullet, you say, yeah, there was some of what we consider incest today. Because if you don't bite that bullet and an atheist knows the Bible, they're going to ask you, what about Abraham? Abraham married his half sister. What about when Jacob leaves the land of Canaan to go back to Israel to find a wife because he wants to marry someone from his family? It's very, 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 very common. In fact, it was frowned upon for them not to get with somebody in their family, a cousin, a half sister, things like that. Now it's directly commanded even back then. You don't get with your mother. A daughter doesn't get with her father. Like it's condemned when Lot's daughters sleep with him. That's a bad thing. But your cousin, your niece, your half sister was very, very common back then. So you bite that bullet, you say, yeah, they had to repopulate the earth. They had to populate the earth. And there weren't a lot of people. And they didn't want to sleep with heathens. They didn't want to sleep with the Perizzites and the Jebusites and the Amorites and these Moloch worshipers. They don't want to sleep with the wicked people, the heathens. So they kept it in the family. And it helped them, and they grew quickly. Now, if there's only a little group of people, and they go from this small group of people in a matter of a couple hundred years to having 1 million people, yeah, there was a lot of family stuff going on. Now, later on, God says, okay, no more of that. There's enough people. You don't got to do that no more. But the atheist is going to say, okay, so wait a second. You're saying that incest is okay? No, I'm not. Incest is wrong. But why was it okay back then? Because this is divine command theory. and this is why I think this is the best way to explain morality. God does not change, right? God doesn't change. Morality is objective. God is the object. God does not change. He doesn't change his mind. He doesn't, the rules don't change. And they'll say, well, that's not consistent. Because back then, they could sleep with their family members, and it was a good thing because they had to repopulate Israel. They had to repopulate the earth. It was a good thing then. Now it's a bad thing. How can you be consistent with that? The simple answer is God is outside of time. God is like the father of the earth, and we're the children. When you have a child, there's a time and a place where things are wrong and things are right, and the father decides what's right and what's wrong. And he already knows what's right and what's wrong before it happens. So if a father tells their child, you can't drink beer, do not drink beer. There's beer in the fridge. That's my beer. You cannot drink that beer. But then on the kid's 21st birthday, you take the kid to a bar. The father takes the kids to the bar. Did the father change? Did anything about his morality change? No. But there's a right time to do something, and then there's a wrong time to do something. And the morals of the father don't change. It's just, now's the time we have to do this. There's a time and a place for everything. There's a season, everything in its time and everything in its season. There's a season where people had to do some incest to populate the earth, and it was the right thing to do. There's a time when it's the right thing to do to wipe out an evil nation, every man, woman, and child. There's a time when it's right to take a slave. Yep. Sure enough, it was right for Joshua to not wipe out either the Gibeonites or the Midianites, but rather to take them as slaves so that they could survive and grow and prosper. And now they're building the temple. There's a time and a place and a season for everything. God doesn't change. But what God says is right is right. And what God says is wrong is wrong. Now, it may be, at this point, there may be a time when it's right to lie. It doesn't mean it's always right to lie. It doesn't mean you should go around being a liar. But when Rahab lied, was it Rahab? Is that the right name? Is Seesaw here? I'm not even looking at chat right now. It's got to be more than 100 years to have that many generations. It was more than 100 years. Didn't I say hundreds of years? I think it was like, yeah, but also a lot of them weren't, once they got to a certain size, I believe it's in Deuteronomy, where that's when they lay out the the family laws and the sex laws and things like that in Deuteronomy. So Deuteronomy, they're not at 1 million yet, you're right. But shortly after that, they're at 1 million. But that's when in Deuteronomy, between Genesis and Deuteronomy, when it goes from Noah to maybe 300,000 people, they didn't have those laws yet because it needed to be done. It was the right thing to do. It was actually the wrong thing to do to go sleep with the heathens and the Nephilims and do sodomy. That's still wrong. I don't think there's ever a time in the Bible where sodomy is okay. In fact, it's one of the strongest condemned things in the Bible. From the Old Testament to the New Testament, repeatedly, it's very, very much condemned all throughout the Bible. Cities get wiped out for it. So, but it would have been wrong for Noah and his family, once it starts growing and the tribes start breaking apart, the family of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, it would be wrong for them to go sleep with the Nephilim or the Shumims or any of them, or the Amorites or the Hittites or any of them. It would have been wrong for them to do that. So what are they going to do? They only got so many options and everybody's related. Also, another point when atheists try to drop this bomb on you and they think, "Oh, look at that." Now, granted, if it's a morality conversation, this isn't really a point, but if they're just trying to attack Christianity and they say, "Well, you guys believe in incest because of Noah and the ark." You just say, "Are you an atheist? You believe in evolution, right?" Okay, well, in order for you to have a population, you must have had an origin, woman and man. In order for an atheist who believes in evolution to get a population of humans, you also had incest. So any worldview, it doesn't matter what your worldview, has incest in its beginnings, because when there's only two people and you get to 9 billion people over 4,000 years, however long atheists think humans were on Earth, yeah, they're either going to have to concede that atheists also have incest in evolution, or they got bestiality. Because once you have consciousness and once morality evolves into the man and the woman, or let's say the man evolves first, because it'd be really crazy that a man and a woman who can reproduce and make more humans just happen to evolve at the same time in the same place. That's crazy in itself. But a working Pepe and a working vajayjay just happen to evolve in the same region at the same time so that they can make children. So if they won't concede to incest, well, you believe in bestiality, because humans, once they evolved morality, would have had to sleep with monkeys to make more humans who had morality. Isn't that interesting? But anyway, I just think that's interesting that what was that verse? The Nephilims. Nephilims? Where was that? The Levites and the Nethinims, the porters and the Nethinims. I'm going to make a note on that real quick. Nethinims. Likely Gideonite or Midianite. Slaves taken by Joshua. Based Joshua. And it wouldn't be the first time that somebody took slaves and it ended up working out better for the future generations of the slaves that were taken. Had they not been taken, they would have been destroyed. But instead, they grew and they developed and they prospered. And now they get to complain about racism. Look at that. So I like that. That adds to my firepower to argue that slavery is not inherently immoral, because it's not. A lot of people will try to dodge that, because atheists will come at you with that too. The Bible allows for slavery, and they'll try to say, well, it's different words. No, it's not. It's not. It's the same thing. In fact, it was probably way worse back then. Like way worse. Or they'll say, well, later God forbids it. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. So, but I'm the bullet biter. I'll bite all the bullets and then I'll justify it. Biting a bullet is not a bad thing. Biting a bullet means they took a shot at you and you caught the bullet in your teeth and then you spit it out. People say bite. People will be like, JS, why do you always bite the bullet? Because they're shooting at me and I'm like Neo going, Spit it out. Spit it out. Did I just do Hawk Tua? That was not a Hawk Tua reference. That was from a 50 Cent song. What's he say? Bullets hit my bullets in my jaw. Spit it out. That was what I was trying to make a reference to. And I sounded like I did a Hawk Tua reference. Whoops. Okay. Verse 8. And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. For upon the 1st day of the 1st month began he to go up from Babylon. And on the 1st day of the 5th month came he to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord, and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. Oh, what about thou shalt not judge? Now this is the copy of the letter that the king Artaxerxes gave unto Ezra the priest, the scribe, even a scribe of the words of the commandments of the Lord and of his statutes to Israel. Where's Maryland? Maryland, if we're all gods, why would God give us commandments? That don't make no sense. Artaxerxes, king of kings, unto Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of God of heaven, perfect peace, and at such a time. Perfect peace on earth. Whenever people say, well, you can never have perfect peace until you die, that's wrong. I don't care who you are, that's wrong. Okay. I make a decree that all they of the people of Israel and of his priests and Levites in my realm, which are minded of their own free will. What? We found free will. Oh, I knew this was coming, actually. We talked about this a while ago. This free will is used in this instance. And then when it's talking about the free will offering, I brushed off the free will offering because that is ratzon, which means voluntary. It just means it's like the same thing as saying choice. It's not what it doesn't mean the same thing as what people mean when they say free will. But now I said when we get to Ezra, which is the other time that it's mentioned, we need to look into this. And I think I've already looked this up before, but I want to look at what this means. I believe it's going to say agency. Let me see. Ezra 7:13. Or it might be the same word. It might be ratzon again. Ezra 7:13, free will. Man, we talked about that a while ago. I've been waiting to get to this part. Because I'm a Bible thumper, and if I can find enough evidence biblically, then I'll admit I'm wrong. But I think this is going to be more like a choice. And philosophically, my argument against free will is that free will is not the same as choice, but it's actually agency that informs our choices. And that agency is contingent on God. Free will, LMNOPQR. Freely. Oh, what? Oh no, it's mentioned more than twice, but all of these, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, those and Chronicles, those are all talking about the free will offering, which is ratzon. And that's 5071. I didn't mean that it's only mentioned twice. I meant there's only 2 words for it. So it's 5071 and 5069. So Ezra 17 or Ezra 7:13 and Ezra 7:16. So every other time the Bible mentions free will, it's talking about the free will offering. It's mentioned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Psalms 119. Is that the free will offering? Let me see. Maybe there's, but it's the same word. It's ratson. Psalms 119. Psalms 119. What's the verse? 108. Psalms 119, 108. There is no 119, 108. What the heck? Oh. Yeah, there is. That's a long psalm. Holy moly. Psalms is going to take a minute. Psalms is a thick book with big old chapters. 108. Yeah, except I beseech thee the free will offerings of my mouth, O Lord, and teach me thy judgments. So 11 times it mentions free will in reference to the free will offering. The Hebrew word there in the Strongs, it's 5071. The Hebrew word is ratson. Ratson just means voluntary. It's a voluntary offering. It's not a required offering of the, it's not like the sin offering or the burnt offerings or the there's a bunch of different offerings they go through in Leviticus and Deuteronomy. It's not any of those. It's the free will offering is just like, hey, I got a little extra. I'll go down to the temple and I'm like, hey, I just want to give an offering. That would be the ratson. But in Ezra 7:13 and 7:16 is the only two times that a different word for free will is used. And that strong number is 5069, which is only 2 away from 5071. So it's going to be a very similar word. 5069, right? 5069. I think it's going to mean the same thing. $5094, 5092, 5089, 5088. I kind of want to highlight in this concordance, but I don't want to do it. I want to keep it nice. 5068, 5069. Is this right? Wait, is ratson something different? What am I thinking of? What is ratson? Why was I thinking of ratson? This is Nadaba. Nadaba. What am I thinking of ratson? That must be another word I looked up. It's not ratson. Sorry, I'm not. My Hebrew's not the greatest. Ratson. No, ratzon. Ratza. Delight, pleasure, approval, acceptable or desired. Rasson. I don't know how to spell it. What am I thinking of? What's another thing we looked up recently? I hope it's not the word for. Hope it's not the word for whore because I looked at. Okay, it's not Rasson. It's So 5071. Spontaneous, Voluntary, voluntarily, voluntary, willingly. And then that's 5071. 5069 is Nadab, which is liberally, freely offered, free will offering, offering willingly, minded of their own free will. Minded of their own free will. Interesting. Yeah, I still don't think this is the same like meaning of what we mean when we talk about free will philosophically. And I wonder, favor or goodwill. Ratson is goodwill. That's what I was thinking of. Maybe that's what I will acceptance and voluntary willingness. Ratson means acceptance and voluntary willingness. So I am thinking of the right thing. It's just, am I in the wrong? I'm in the Hebrew, right? Yeah. Huh. Wonder why last time I looked this up, it brought me to Ratson, Ratson, favor, pleasure, goodwill, acceptance, and voluntary willingness. So that is the word I was thinking of. That's 7522. What verse is 7522? 7522. Ratson, acceptable, delight, pleasure, accepted, acceptance, self-will, favor, will, acceptable, goodwill, acceptance. Ratson represents a concrete reaction of the superior to the inferior. When used of God, Ratson represents which is shown in his blessings, and for the precious things of earth and fullness thereof, and for the goodwill of him that dwelt in the bush. Oh, I looked up the word will when it said the goodwill of God. I looked up the word will, and it brought me to Ratson. So I wasn't totally off. I was just thinking of something different. But it is voluntary willingness is Ratson. And then Nadab is similar, but it does say mindful of their own free will in the Strongs. So I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting a little sidetracked here just because every time that word comes up, if it's not talking about the free will offering, I said I was going to look into it because I'm being critical of myself. Amazing. What have I walked into? We are the will of God. All right. All right. For as much as thou art sent of the king and of his 7 counselors to inquire concerning Judah and Jerusalem, according to the law of thy God, which is in thine hand, and to carry the silver and gold which the king and his counselors have freely offered unto the God of Israel, whose habitation is in Jerusalem, and all the silver and gold that thou canst find in all the province of Babylon, with the free will offering. So there, again, it's talking about the free will offering, but it references me to 5069 and 5 instead of 5071. They're both the same words. It's just one has like an extra syllable, but basically it's a voluntary offering. I don't think that proves the philosophical idea of free will. That thou mayest buy speedily with this money bullocks, rams, lambs with their meat offerings and their drink offerings, and offer them upon the altar of the house of your God, which is in Jerusalem. Your God, which is in Jerusalem. And whatsoever shall seem good to thee and to thy brethren to do with the rest of the silver and the gold, that do after the will of your God. So what there where it says that do after the will of your God, the word will there is rason. And then the word free will here is either nabad or nedalbad. Nibadal or nidal, something like that. I don't speak Hebrew, guys. um the vessels also that are given thee for the service of the house of thy God, those deliver thou before the God of Jerusalem. And whatsoever more shall be needful for the house of thy God, which thou shalt have occasion to bestow, bestow it out of the king's treasure house. And I, even I, Artaxerxes the king, do make a decree to all the treasurers which are beyond the river, that whatsoever Ezra the priest, the scribe of the law of God of heaven, shall require of you, it be done speedily. Unto 100 talents of silver, and to 100 measures of wheat, and to 100 baths of wine, and to 100 baths of wine. Maryland, let's go. 100 baths of wine. And a bath of wine is a measurement of wine. It's not quite like a bathtub that you would have in your house, but more like uh like a trough, like a you know them silver trough bucket things, like one of those. That's a lot of wine. Yeah, buddy. And to 100 baths of oil and salt without prescribing how much. Whatsoever is commanded by the God of heaven, let it be diligently done for the house of the God of heaven. For why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons? Also, we certify you that touching any of the priests and Levites, singers, porters, Nethinims, or ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them. Certify you that touching any of the priests, Levites, singers, and ministers of this house of God, it shall not be lawful to impose toll, tribute, or custom upon them. I gotta draw a question mark on that one. What is that? Ezra 7:24. Ezra 7:24. Meaning, a decree from King Artaxerxes to his treasurers in Trans-Euphrates that they are not to collect taxes, tribute, or custom duties from any of the priests, Levites, singers, doorkeepers, temple servants, or other ministers of the temple of God in Jerusalem. Interesting. So I've debated before that taxes or churches should not be tax exempt, that they should have to pay their taxes in America. And I've debated it on Verbal Combat a couple times. I debated it, I think, against Wally and against Mosman. None of them ever brought this up. They could have got me with this one. But they didn't. King Fund. Let's go. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. Oh, we still have the I don't, this is not the Griff stream. This is the Bible study stream, but we'll pass the bucket. You want to pass the bucket? We'll pass the bucket. I'm trying to make a million here. Saturday, one of the topics I'm going to talk about, we're going to watch a video of a street preacher named Nicholas Bowling. I think it's Nicholas Bowling or something. I've played his videos before because I've done a thing where we compared different styles of street preaching. And I think we're going to talk about what people think about street preaching. But more importantly, I liked Nicholas Bowling or whatever his name is but he's been getting on this healing trip where like he's healing kids with autism, which isn't even real. And his newest video, I haven't watched it yet. I'm not watching it until Saturday. I'm going to watch it with you guys. But apparently he heals somebody's back at a nightclub. At least that's what the thumbnail says. The thumbnail says they mocked the preacher until they saw this. And then it has him standing there by a guy and it says, "My back is healed," or "You healed my back," or something like that. And I'm like, oh man, I liked you. I liked you, Nick. He's a very soft street preacher. I kind of usually like the fire and brimstone hardcore guys a little more, but he's a softer street preacher guy. And but I liked him, but now he's been doing this healing stuff. I don't know about all that. That seems to me like you're trying to start up a mega church, Nick. An online mega church. Be careful, but we'll watch it and see. I haven't watched the video yet, but we'll watch it on Saturday after the fights. Who's fighting this Saturday? We're going to pause the... But anyway, after I finish this chapter, I'll check. But so this verse right here, Artaxerxes is not supposed to charge taxes to the churches or to the temple. So in a church taxation debate, somebody could use that against me. And I don't know. I'd have to think about it. "And thou, Ezra, after the wisdom of thy God that is in thine hand, set magistrates and judges, which may judge all the people that are beyond the river, all such as know the laws of thy God, and teach ye them that know them not. And whosoever will not do the law of thy God, and the law of the king, let judgment be executed swiftly upon him, whether it be unto death, or to banishment, or to confiscation of goods, or to imprisonment. Whosoever will not do the law of thy God, and the law of the king, let judgment be executed speedily upon him, whether it be unto death, or to banishment, or to confiscation of goods, or to imprisonment." So there's a good death penalty verse for if anybody says... I've heard people say, "I'm a Christian, so obviously I'm against the death penalty." And I'm like, what do you mean? Obviously you're against the death penalty. What are you talking about? Have you read the Bible? You even Bible, bruh? I mean, I'm fine if you're against the death penalty and you're going to use Christian ethics to justify it. I'm fine with that. But don't say, "I'm a Christian, so of course I'm against it," because that's not implied. You could be both. You could be pro or against the death penalty and be a Christian. It's not a salvific issue. It's not a doctrinal issue. It's not a dogma. It's and I would argue there's more, at least biblically, there's more evidence that justifies the death penalty. And there's another one right there. Then people will say, "But that's the Old Testament, not the New Testament." And I'll say, "So you're a dispensationalist?" "No, dispensationalism is lame." Well, you just did dispensationalism just now. Whenever you say, "Well, that's the Old Testament, this is the New Testament," that's dispensationalism. Good morning, Matthew. All right. "Blessed be the Lord God of our fathers, which have put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to beautify the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem, and hath extended mercy unto me before the king and his counselors, and before all the king's mighty princes. And I was strengthened, as the hand of the Lord my God was upon me. And I gathered together out of Israel chief men to go up with me." That verse go hard. That whole section goes hard. 26, 27, and 28. I like all of that. Need to make a little note here. speedily upon him, whether it be unto death. Death penalty. Justified. Yet again. All right. Now, real quick pause in the reading. We only got 2 chapters left. Or wait, 8, 9, 10. We got 3 left. Marilyn, you better hang out because we're about to talk about dating out of your race. Marrying out of your race. But I don't even know. I don't even know what race Marilyn is. What am I looking for? Oh, I think Rose Namajunas is fighting this week. Let me see. If I remember correctly, Thug Rose is fighting this week, I think. Come on, get off images. Oh, that's because I'm on YouTube. I need to be on Google. UFC fight. Imavov and Barradio. Carlo Barradio. And Nasruddin Imavov. Nasruddin Imavov and Carlo Barradio. Oh, yeah, it's in freaking Abu Dhabi. As soon as I start reading the names, Bakaxis, Imavov, Barradio. It's in Abu Dhabi, I think. Patricio Pitbull's fighting. 1 p.m. main card. That means we're staying up. That means we're doing like a 24-hour stream again. Dang, that means daytime VK, then nighttime VK, then I stay up all night Friday because the fights are going to start at like 10 a.m., which is when I usually go to bed and watch the fights. Oh, it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long Friday. We're going to be doing a marathon on Friday. It's not Rose Namajunas. When does Thug Rose fight? Is she on the prelims? No. I swear she got a fight coming up. Lopez versus Silva. Oh, Diego Lopez and John Silva. That'll be a good fight. That's in 2 weeks. Ankalaev versus Pereira is the next pay-per-view. That's not till October. I don't know. I could have sworn I saw something that said Thug Rose was fighting soon. I don't really like girl fights, but unless it's Kat and Marilyn. Today, bruh. Star Child. What you doing here? It's time for you to crack 'em Duke cheese. Nobody knows what that means. Today? Duh. Bruh. Clicked on, dude said. But as I clicked on, dude said, I don't even know what Marilyn is. Oh, I meant her race. I don't know what her race is. My phone was confiscated. Oh, she's a European immigrant? Is she? She looked like she got a little, I don't know. What are you, Marilyn? You look like you got a little brown in you. A little bit of brown in you. We're all one race. I can't be on all night no more. Well, sucks for you. Sucks for you. Wah, wah, wah. Okay. Chapter 8. Ezra's Babylonian companions. These are now the chief. Oh, we got a little lineage here. We got some names. These are now the chief of their fathers, and this is the genealogy, some begats, genealogy of them that went up with me from Babylon in the reign of Artaxerxes the king. All right, this is. It's not too long. It's not too long. It's only like 5 verses. Of the sons of Phinehas, Gershom. Of the sons of Ithamar, Daniel. Of the sons of David, Hatshush. Of the sons of Shechaniah, the sons of Pharosh, Zechariah, and with him were reckoned by genealogy of the males 150. Of the sons of Pahath Moab, Eli Hoaniah, the son of Zerahiah, and with him 200 males. Of the sons of Shechaniah, the son of Jahaziel, and with him 300 males. Of the sons of Adin, Ebed, the sons of Jonathan, and with him 50 males. And of the sons of Elam, Jeshaiah, the son of Athaliah, and with him 70 males. And of the sons of Shephatiah, Zebediah, the son of Michael, and with him 80 males. Of the sons of Joab, Obadiah, the son of Jehiel, and with him 218 males. And of the sons of Shelomith, the son of Josephiah, and with him 180 males. And of the sons of Babiah, Zechariah, the son of Babiah, and with him 28 males. And of the sons of Azgad, Johanan, the son of Hakaton, and with him 110 males. And of the last sons of Adonikam, whose names are these, Eliphalet, Jeiel, and Shemaiah, and with him 80 males. Of the sons also of Bigvai, Uthai, and Zabud, and with them 70 males. And I gathered them together to the river that runneth to Ahava, and there abode we in tents 3 days, and I viewed the people and the priests, and found there none of the sons of Levi. He can't find any sons of Levi. Wonder why. Then sent I for Eleazar and Ariel, for Shemaiah, and for Elnathan, and for Jarib, and for Elnathan, and for Nathan, and for Zechariah, and for Meshulam, chief men, also for Joiarib, and for Elnathan, men of understanding. And I sent them with commandment unto Edo, the chief at the place Cassiphia, and I told them what they should say unto Edo, and to his brethren, the Nethinims, at the place Cassiphia, that they should bring unto us ministers for the house of our God. And by the good hand of our God upon us, they brought us a man of understanding of the sons of Mali, the son of Levi, the son of Israel, and Sherebiah with his sons and his brethren 18. And Hashabiah, and with him Jeshaiah of the sons of Merari, his brethren and their sons 20. And of the Nethinims, whom David and the princes had appointed for the service of the Levites, 220 Nethinims, all of them were expressed by name. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river of Ahava, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him a right way for us and for our little ones and for all our substance. For I was ashamed to require of the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to help us against the enemy in the way, because we had spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of our God is upon all them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him. So we fasted and besought our God for this, and he was entreated of us. Then I separated 12 of the chief of the priests, Sherebiah, Hashabiah, and 10 of their brethren with them, and weighed unto them the silver and the gold and the vessels, even the offerings of the house of our God, which the king and his counselors and his lords and all Israel there present had offered. I even weighed unto their hands 650 talents of silver, and silver vessels, and 100 talents, and of gold 100 talents. Also 20 basins of gold of 1,000 drams, and 2 vessels of fine copper, precious as gold. And I said unto them, ye are holy unto the Lord. The vessels are holy also, and the silver and the gold are a free will offering unto the Lord God of your fathers. Watch ye, and that's 507:1 again. Watch ye and keep them until ye weigh them before the chief of the priests and the Levites and chief of the fathers of Israel at Jerusalem in the chambers of the house of the Lord. So took the priests and the Levites the weight of the silver and the gold and the vessels to bring them to Jerusalem unto the house of our God. Then we departed from the river. So see, now it's speaking in first person. This is now, I was ashamed. We departed. So it's chapter 8. I was wrong. I said chapter 7. It's chapter 8 when it goes from third person to, because Ezra is not mentioned in the book of Ezra until chapter 7. In chapter 7, Ezra is talked about in third person. 8, 9, and 10, he's referenced in the first person. That isn't super important. It just helps us understand who is writing this. Even though it's possible Ezra wrote all of this and he was just writing about something before he was around, history that he had heard, and he wasn't around, so he didn't mention himself. But when he's writing in first person, it's pretty clear that Ezra at least wrote chapters 8, 9, and 10. Spain and Ireland? Yeah, I knew she had some Spanish in her. I'm Irish and Hispanic. I knew you had some dang Hispanic in you. You're not an immigrant. Maryland, 2 black people. I should not read that. 2 black people have children in China. Now their children are Chinese. Depends on if China has birthright citizenship. And I don't think they like black people in China, so probably not. China still has more slavery than anywhere in the world. So 2 black people have children in China. That child is probably a slave. Ezra is my favorite Bible queen. Ezra is a guy, and he's a prophet, not a king. But thanks for making sure we all know that you have no idea what you're talking about when it comes to the Bible, Marilyn. Thank you. Wow. Then we departed from the river of Ahava on the 12th day of the first month to go unto Jerusalem. And the hand of our God was upon us, and he delivered us from the hand of the enemy, and of such as lay in wait by the way. And we came to Jerusalem and abode there 3 days. Now on the 4th day was the silver and the gold and the vessels weighed in the house of our God by the hand of Meremoth, the son of Uriah, the priest. And with him was Eleazar, the son of Phinehas, and with them was Jozabad, the son of Jeshua, and Noadiah, the son of Binnui, Levites, by number and by weight of every one, and all the weight was written at that time. Also, the children of those that had been carried away, which were come out of the captivity, offered burnt offerings unto the God of Israel, 12 bullocks for all Israel, 90 and 6 rams, 70 and 7 lambs, 12 he-goats for a sin offering. All this was a burnt offering unto the Lord. And they delivered the king's commissions unto the king's lieutenants and to the governors on this side the river, and they furthered the people and the house of God. Chapter 9. I guess it only talks about the foreign wives. It only talks about the foreign wives in chapter 10, so we're not there yet. But it's a pretty big deal, because that's one of the whole concepts of the end of Ezra. It wraps up with saying, they reprimand them for their sins. In the video we played the other day, the precursor to reading Ezra, I said, watch, he's not going to mention what they punish them for. And sure enough, we watched the video and it's like, the book concludes with the remnant being reprimanded by Ezra and the priests and the king for their long history of sinning that they had done since being taken to Babylon. And I was like, what's the sin? You're not going to mention what the sin is? because it's very controversial. Esther. Yeah, Esther's a lady. I'm going in a minute. This can wind you up a bit. Illegal. I comment for you. The Bible is very repetitive. But that's how you pound it into people's heads. But yeah, it's super repetitive. Like, some of these stories get told like 10 times in the Old Testament. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, chapter 9. Prayer and confession. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Amorites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. Did I say Amorites twice? Ammonites and Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves. They're sleeping with strange women. They're sleeping with foreigners. What the? For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers hath been chief in this trespass. Even the royalty was sleeping with foreigners. They mingled their seed with strange women, foreigners. And when I heard this thing, I rent my garment and my mantle and plucked off the hair of my head and of my beard and sat down astonied. I think that means astonished. Astonied. Ezra heard this. He, that's how serious it was. Dude, Ezra freaked out when he heard that they were race mixing. And now it's all willy-nilly. He rent his clothes. He pulled his hair out of his head and his beard. Why are you plugging another channel on my channel, Marilyn? You better go in time out. This is not the let's talk about other streams that are on right now, chat. What is wrong with you? Is you crazy? What did Seesaw say? Buenos dias. Oh, buenos dias. ¿Cómo está usted? Oye, loca. Ven pa' acá. Huevelo, timbara. Come here. Oh my God, I'm about to ban you here. You better calm down. Adult Swim is live. Oh my God, I'm about to time everybody out. This is not the promote other channels channel. All right. We're getting to the best part. Ezra is tearing his garments and ripping the hair out of his head because they're sleeping with strange foreign women. And then were assembled unto me every one that trembled at the words of God of Israel because of the transgression of those that had been carried away. And I sat astonied until the evening sacrifice. Those that had been carried away, meaning they were thinking with their small brain and they went a whoring about after strange foreign women. And this is why they're not going to tell you this story in Bible study class. Okay. Bible, you us. Bible, you us. Rachel Ray is live. Oh my God. Cease out. Ban yourself. And at the evening sacrifice, I arose up from my heaviness, and having rent my garments and my mantle, I fell upon my knees and spread out my hands unto the Lord my God, and said, O my God, I am ashamed and blush to lift up my face to thee, my God, for our iniquities are increased over our head, and our trespasses grown up unto the heavens. Since the days of our fathers have we been in a great trespass unto this day, and for our iniquities have we, our kings and our priests, been delivered into the hand of the kings of the lands, to the sword, to captivity, and to a spoil, and to confusion of face, as it is this day. And now, for a little space, grace hath been showed from the Lord our God to leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a nail in his holy place, that our God may lighten our eyes and give us a little reviving in our bondage. For we were bondsmen, yet our God hath not forsaken us in our bondage, but hath extended mercy unto us in the sight of the kings of Persia, to give us a reviving, to set up the house of our God, and to repair the desolations thereof, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem. And now, O our God, what shall we say after this? We have forsaken thy commandments, which thou hast commanded by saying, thy servants the prophets, saying, the land unto which ye go to possess, it is an unclean land, with filthiness of the people of the lands, which have their abominations, which have filled it from one end to the other with their cleanness. Now, therefore, give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace of their wealth forever, that ye may be strong, and eat the good of the land, and leave it for an inheritance to your children forever. And after all that is come upon us for our evil deeds, and for our great trespass, seeing that thou, our God, hast punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and hast given us such deliverance as this, should we again break thy commandments and join in affinity with the people of these abominations? Wouldest not thou be angry with us till thou hast consumed us, so that there should be no remnant nor escaping? O Lord God of Israel, thou art righteous, for we remain yet escaped, as it is this day. Behold, we are before thee in our trespasses, for we cannot stand before thee because of this. And the this he's talking about is you know, whoring after heathens. Oh my God. Marilyn, I'm serious. Nobody cares. Quit plugging other streams in my chat. This is not the gossip about Jim Bob hour. Go to Jim Bob's stream. If you're not allowed to chat in there, sucks for you. But quit talking about it in my chat. I'm gonna mute you. That's like one of the most annoying things to me. People are like, oh, I'm gonna go hang out over on this stream. They're live right now. Shut up. Go. Just leave. You're distracting me when I'm on the best part. This is the best part. We're talking about interracial relationships. Now, to be fair, Seesaw's a good Christian woman. And she Mexican, you know, and she's married to a good Christian man. He white. I think what's more important is the ideology, the faith, the theology. What God do you follow? And if you follow the same God and your skin happens to be different colors, that's just due to the equator. You know, that's just due to sunlight and melanin. So, you know, I'm joking when I say this is about interracial relationship. It is. It is about interracial relationships, but by race didn't mean black or white or brown or red or yellow back then. Race meant what tribe you were in and what your culture was and what your beliefs were. So it'd be more akin to a Christian and an atheist getting married or sleeping together. Not so much like a black guy and a white chick, even though that's weird too, but it's not my fault. I fell in love with an amazing white Christian man. It's okay, Seesaw. I'm justifying it. You can You can have your white husband because you're both Christians. So you're both adopted into the family of Abraham. It means don't mix with the cannibals. Yeah. Or the sodomites or the baby sacrificers or the devil worshippers or the wizards or the witches or the stargazers or the crystal readers or the abortion supporters or the uh all that mess. But how did Oriental people get their eye shape then? From cold weather squinting? Uh some people say that it has something to do with like the snow shine. What do they call it? Snow blindness, because light bounces off the snow and it can burn your eyes. So if you're in like the Himalayas or places with snow, you get squinty eyes. So if they migrated from, I don't know, man. I'm not a freaking. What do I look like? I don't know what this. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure about the squinty eye thing. Basically, use your head or the baristas, like coffee shop girls. Yeah, probably be a good idea to stay away from the baristas. I think I would agree with that. All right, chapter 10. Last chapter of Ezra, and then we're done with Ezra. Now, when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children. For the people wept very sore. And Shechaniah, the son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, We have trespassed against our God, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Don't take strange wives, guys. Do not be taking strange wives. What a mess. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and of those that tremble at the commandment of our God. And let it be done according to the law. Arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage, and do it. Then arose Ezra and made the chief priests, the Levites, and all Israel to swear that they should do according to this word, and they swear. No more, don't be doing nothing strange for no change. Jay's talking about bondage. It doesn't mean what you think it means. Then Ezra rose up from before the house of God and went into the chamber of Johanan, the son of Eliashib. And when he came thither, he did eat no bread nor drink water, for he mourned because of the transgressions of them that had been carried away. And I like how they say that, they had been carried away. So like if you're like a Christian and you go sleep with you start mingling with 304s, you've been carried away. Almost like Satan picked you up on his shoulders and walked you over into the 304 pit. They're all strange. Yeah, you might be right about that, Marilyn. That's why Paul said it's better that you stay single. And they made proclamation throughout Judah and Jerusalem unto all the children of their captivity that they should gather themselves together unto Jerusalem, meaning keep it in the family, guys. Not like that. Although it was like that. But now there's enough people that you don't got to do all that. Change. Doing something strange for some change. I've been broke my whole life. Now money right. And that whosoever would not come within 3 days, according to the counsel of the princes and the elders, all his substance should be forfeited, and himself separated from the congregation of those that had been carried away. So if you didn't leave your strange, foreign, degenerate wife and come back into the house of the Lord, you lost all your stuff and you were banished. You're kicked out. That's savage. That's based. Then all the men of Judah and Benjamin gathered themselves together unto Jerusalem within 3 days. It was the 9th month, and on the 20th day of the month, and all the people sat in the street of the house of God, trembling because of this matter, and for the great rain. And Ezra the priest stood up and said unto them, Ye have transgressed and have taken strange wives to increase the trespass of Israel. Now therefore make confession unto the Lord God of your fathers, and do his pleasure, and separate yourselves from the people of the land and from the strange wives. No strange wives. And pastors, if they ever teach on Ezra, or if you ever ask what's the book of Ezra about, they'll always glaze right over this fact. They'll skip right over this part. What did they do wrong? Well, they married a bunch of hookers. That's what they did. They were sleeping with, I can say whores, right? Because whore is in the Bible. What was the Hebrew word, Seesaw? We looked it up that one day. I should say the Hebrew word. Kadesha. Zona. Kadesha. Zona or Kadesha, the common prostitute, or the cult prostitute. Kadesha. A Quedesha was a woman consecrated to cultic prostitution in non-Israelite pagan worship. Prohibited practice. It was prohibited. Lord forbid we prohibit anything in America nowadays. We got freedoms. You're free to be a degenerate. That's what freedom is. Which amendment right is that? 1 through 23. Give me the right to be a degenerate. Then all the congregation answered and said with a loud voice, As thou hast said, so must we do. But the people are many, and it is a time of much rain, and we are not able to stand without. Neither is this a work of one day or two, for we are many that have transgressed in this thing. Let now our rulers of all the congregation stand, and let all them which have taken strange wives in our cities come at appointed times, and with them the elders of every city and the judges thereof, until the fierce wrath of our God for this matter be turned from us. Only Jonathan the son of Ashahel and Jahaziah the son of Tikvah were employed about this matter, and Meshulam and Shabbatai the Levite helped them. And the children of captivity did so. And Ezra the priest with certain chief of the fathers after the house of their fathers, and all of them by their names were separated and sat down in the first day of the 10th month to examine the matter. And they made an end with all the men that had taken strange wives by the first day of the first month. And so I think they had 10 months back then, well, it doesn't say how many months it took. And among the sons of the priests, there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Jeshua the son of Jozadak and his brethren, Maaseiah and Eleazar and Jerib and Gedaliah. And they gave their hands that they would put away their wives, and being guilty, they offered a ram of the flocks for their trespass. And of the sons of Immer, Hanani and Zebediah, and of the sons of Harim, Maaseiah and Elijah and Shemaiah and Jehiel and Uzziah, and of the sons of Pashur, Elionaiah, Maaseiah, I think it's just Maaseiah. It looks like it's weirder, but I think it's just Maaseiah. Ishmael, Nathaniel, Jozabad, and Elisha. Also of the Levites, Jozabad and Shimei and Keliah. The same is Kelita, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eliezer. Of the singers also, Eliashib, and of the porters, Shallum, and Telem, and Uri. Moreover, of Israel, of the sons of Parash, Ramiah, and Josiah, and Malchiah, and Miamin, and Eleazar, and Malchijah, and Benaiah. And of the sons of Elam, Mattaniah, Zechariah, and Jehiel, and Abdi, and Jeremoth, and Elijah. And of the sons of Zatu, Elionaiah, Eliashib, Mattaniah, and Jeremoth, and Zabad, and Aziza. Of the sons also of Babiah, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabiah, and Athaliah. And of the sons of Bani, Meshulam, Maluk, and Aduiah, Jashub, and Sheal, and Ramoth. And of the sons of Pahath Moab, Adnah, and Chalal, Benaiah, Masiah, Mattaniah, Bezaliel, and Benui, and Manasseh. And of the sons of Harim, Eliezer, Ishijah, Malchiah, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Maluk, and Shemariah. Of the sons of Hashun, Magtaniah, Mattatha, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shimei. And of the sons of Bani, Madai, Amram, and Uel, Benaiah, Bedaiah, Chelul, Vaniah, Meremoth, Eliashib, Mattaniah, Mattanai, and Ja'usah, and Bani, and Benui, Shimei, and Shelemiah, and Nathan, and Adaiah, Machna, Debiah, Shashai, Sharai, Azariel, Shelemiah, Shemariah, Shalom, Amariah, and Joseph. Finally, an easy one, Benjamin and Joseph. Of the sons of Nebo, they're going backwards through all the lineages. Of the sons of Nebo, Jeiel, Mattathiah, Zabad, Zebinah, Jadal, and Joel, Benaiah. All these had taken strange wives, and some of them had wives by whom they had children. They even had children with these strange women. What the? All of them took strange wives. I'm clipping this and saying Josh, a demon's death. This is where they kick out the wives and kids during the night and rain. Pretty much, they said you got 3 days, and they said it was raining heavily. They said you got 3 days to get rid of them. And if you want to go with them, then we're taking all your stuff and you're banished. You and your wife and your dirty little kids. Out in the rain, boy. Savage. I love it. I love it. Ain't nothing soft about the Old Testament. All wives are strange until you lead them to God. Well, apparently God and Ezra disagreed. When it says strange wives, it's talking about foreigners. Non people of Israel, of the tribes of Israel. Is race mixing. This is making me feel conscious of my girlfriend. She's strange AF. Dang. Well, you better toss her out in the rain, boy. Better kick her out. Don't be making babies with that strange woman. Because a strange woman is going to make strange kids. Get her straight, bruh. Tighten it up. Rein it in. So, what have we learned today? What have we learned from the book of Ezra? Israel was freed from captivity. The Nephilims were Gideonite or Midianite slaves taken by Joshua. Slaves that were taken in battle who ended up being assets to Israel and helping build the second temple. So he took slaves, saving them from death, and then generations later, they're assets to the community. They're welcomed. They're part of the family now. They even help build the temple. That's a great message. It's almost like it was the right thing for Joshua to do to take those slaves. And if anybody tells you it's not the same as chattel slavery in America, no, you're right. It was 10 times worse. It was way worse. Guaranteed. They were in the desert working crops all day long. Not no picking cotton in the temperate climate of Southern America. They didn't have no dang shelters. And then lastly, the last lesson we learned is don't sleep with strange women. Don't take strange women. Don't take strange wives. Or else you're going to get kicked out, banished in the rain with your wife and your dirty kids. That was the lessons we learned from Ezra. And guess what? It doesn't get much better in Nehemiah. Nehemiah goes through the same thing. Nehemiah explains the same thing Ezra said. Because Nehemiah and Ezra kind of go together. I think it's going to more repetition. Marilyn's right about that. The Bible is very repetitive. Nehemiah is going to reiterate the same concept about not taking strange wives. So, and then we get to Esther, which is a lot of the ladies like Esther. I don't even know if I've ever read all of Esther. Have I ever done a show on Esther, Cecil? I know I've done a show on Nehemiah. I've read Nehemiah. I don't think like my whole life, I don't think I've ever read through Esther. I always skipped over that one. I wonder why. Well, it's very short. It's easy to miss. We got a bunch of short ones, and then we get to Job. I know Job like the back of my hand, but you're not supposed to lead your wife to Christ. The parent should have led her to Christ. You're not supposed to marry an unbeliever. I think I agree with that. I don't think I agree with that. We talked about this the other night. That's Amos 3:10. Amos 3:10. If two are not agreed, how can they walk together? Amos 3:10. Now, if you're both unbelievers and you get married and then you find God, you don't get to divorce her. You stay with her and you lead her with patience. So in that case, you could lead your wife to God. So I don't always agree with you. But if you're a believer, you shouldn't be marrying an atheist. You shouldn't be dang dabbling in strange women. I love Esther. I've never seen you read Esther. Yeah, I was trying to think if I ever did a show about Esther. I don't think I did. I'm sure there's like some verses in Esther that I've seen when I was a kid, but I don't think I've ever read all of it all the way through. But I did do a show on Nehemiah like 2 years ago. I was camping and I read Nehemiah up in the mountains. I like studied it for like 3 days. Pretty like I read through Nehemiah like 5 times so that I could do a show on Monday about it. And the key takeaway I got was don't sleep with strange women. That's the key takeaway I got from Nehemiah. Turns out Esther's the same thing. I mean, Ezra. See, now Marilyn got me confusing Ezra and Esther. What's Esther do? What's she about? What's she all about? She a queen, right? I know about Esther. Esther was a queen, but she was really she she's appointed to power, but she still has to submit to her husband, right? Queen Vashti's punishment. Haman's plot against the Jew. Esther is made queen. Mordecai? Is Mordecai her husband? Certified the king thereof in Mordecai's name. Who's more based? Who's the most based woman in the Bible? Is it Esther or is it Ruth? Who do you think, Cecil? I don't know the story of Esther. I just know she's queen, but I think that it's like feminists will always bring up Esther. They're like, well, Esther was queen in the Bible, but when you read it, maybe I have read it before. I think I have read it before just so that I could debunk that lie. Because they're always like, well, what about Esther? What about, remember Jesse always goes, poor Esther. Poor Esther, because the feminists always bring up Esther. But I think even in the story of Esther, she still submits to her husband. She wasn't a queen, she was a regular girl, but beautiful. So when taking Xerxes kicked Queen Vashti out, he went looking for another queen. Oh. So she really didn't have any power. She was just like an attractive girl who was like the runner up when he got rid of his wife. Based. So when feminists bring up Esther, you can be like, do you know the story of Esther? I think I have read it because I think I've done that before. So somebody was like, well, what about Esther? And I was like, do you know the story of Esther? Yeah, I think I did read it just for that purpose, but I can't remember. I'd say Esther because she's. No, that's Ruth. You mean Ruth? You say Ruth. Ruth slept at Boaz's feet. Yeah, Seesaw meant Ruth. Ruth was based. I like Ruth. But that's so funny. If you tell like a feminist woman that the woman's supposed to submit to the man and not speak in the church, and they're like, well, what about Esther and Ruth? You'd be like, have you read Esther and Ruth? Ruth slept at Boaz's feet. She got down on her knees and praised him, and that's not an innuendo. She worked the dang field. She saw him from far away and she was like, "Ooh, I want me some Boaz." And so she went and worked in the field. And then she brought him a bunch of food and served him. And then she slept at his feet, rubbed his feet when he was sleeping, slept at his feet like a little puppy. Dude, Ruth was based, but I don't think if any feminist brings up Ruth for like a message of women's empowerment from the Bible, they obviously didn't read Ruth. Tell us, what is Esther about? Did you not just hear me asking what was Esther about? This guy don't listen. I don't know what it is about you guys. You don't listen. Can you imagine? I said I'm not sure if I've read it, but I think I did read it or I at least read an outline of it. Because I even said, because Marilyn said Esther is my favorite queen, and I was like, I'm pretty sure she's like titled queen, but she didn't have any power. Don't say like a puppy. Can you imagine the humility it took to sleep at his feet? Loud. You wouldn't sleep at your husband's feet if he told you to? Then once King Xerxes picked Esther as the new queen, she found out the death agenda against the Jews and put her life on the line to go up to the king without being summoned. Okay, that's based. So she did do. I figured she did something base, but it's not like she ruled over the land for 5 centuries or something, or like 5 decades. Ruth was based, so she did. That's what I figured. She did something good. There's a lot of women who did a lot of good things in the Bible. Maybe not a lot, but a handful. Rahab was based. Sarah, I mean, she messed up by making Abraham sleep with the slave. But she was alright. She prayed for a child, and it wasn't a selfish reason. She wanted to raise her child to serve God. So God gave her a child because she wasn't being selfish about it. She didn't want just a little trophy to show around in a stroller, show off to her friends. She really wanted a child to raise it up to serve God. So God was like, since you're not selfish wanting this child, I'll give you a child, Sarah. But she did mess up by telling Abraham to sleep with that slave lady. Esther had a lot of power. King Xerxes told her give her half his kingdom if she asked for it. All right, all right, all right. So she was alright. She was alright. Samson was a simp. Yep. Sure enough. So was Solomon. Who's the bigger simp? You know, I think Solomon's the bigger simp. Because at least Samson was only a simp for one woman. Solomon was a simp for a bunch of strange ladies. I think Solomon was a bigger simp. You guys, meaning the you guys that don't listen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Seesaw's picking up what I'm putting down. Either sleep by the feet or go to the donkey pen. Solomon's biggest simp, 100. Yep. Which goes to show, even if you're wise, even if you're the wisest king, the richest, wisest king, even if you're the strongest man, you could still be a simp. In fact, I think if you're the strongest and the wisest and the richest, you're probably more likely to be a simp. David didn't simp. Now, you know, David didn't simp. David saw the woman he wanted and he took it. Some people argue that he literally, well, I don't know if I should say it. We never talked about that when we read. Did I mention when we read about David and Bathsheba that some people believe that I don't even know if I should talk about that. Like we don't talk about all kinds of crazy things on this. It's a little, because if it's not true, I don't want to say it because it's blasphemy. Or I don't know if it would count as blasphemy. You know what I'm talking about, Sea South? What some people say that David did to get Bathsheba while she was down there. Some people say that he took it. I'm sure it was consensual. Yeah, Robert knows what I'm talking about. Definitely consensual. Definitely consensual when he. That's an atheist talking point. Well, we cover atheist talking points. So, and you have to address the atheist talking points to know how to rebuttal them or to rebut them. I always talk about what the atheist talking points are. So, Yeah, that's an atheist talking point. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything like that in the Bible. But he did get her one way or the other and sent her husband to die in war so that he could have her. So he, in a way, he did take it. But atheists say that he took it, if you know what I'm saying. Preaching is another thing. I'm not a preacher. Who's preaching? Nobody's preaching here. We don't know that. I'm sure she was down with it. Yeah, yeah, because he was the king. You know, he was David. He's the one who smited, smoten Goliath. He was legendary, and he's the king, and he's rich, and he's powerful. I'm sure she wanted it. You're slightly leaning in as if there's validity to it. Are you a woman? Are you like interpreting my what I think and my emotions? You're you should change your tampon, Yoda. I'm not slightly leaning in. If I was slightly leaning in, I wouldn't say I don't know if I should say this because it might be blasphemy. If I was leaning into it, I would just be like, David went in there and took it. When I say he took it, what I meant is he sent her husband to war to die to make sure that he could be with her. I was over there singing your praises. Over where? But you always have? Always have what? Go away. I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah. I talk about him to refute him. But I didn't even want to mention that one because it's pretty bad. But yeah, that is an atheist talking point that they bring up. But I think it's pretty clear. One, it doesn't say that. Um, and two, he was like the top alpha male in all the land. So, just admit it's dumb. I'm not your little clown. You don't tell me what to do, Yoda. You can start your own stream and say what you want to say. I was speaking your praises. Okay. Well, I didn't ask you to do that. But thank you, I guess. But really, you're probably making me look bad, Marilyn. They're probably like, if Marilyn is saying good things about JS, then he's probably uh, not the type of guy that anybody should listen to. So maybe don't do that, Marilyn. That's probably not good. That probably doesn't help me. That's like when Dean goes on other channels and he's like, everybody needs to go watch JS, and then he starts saying something retarded. And I'm like, Dean, don't do that. Don't go in other channels. The same way that I told you not to plug other channels in my channel, Marilyn, don't plug me in other people's channels, please. Because then when you act like a crazy person, that looks bad on me. I ain't paying you to plug me. What the? If Marilyn is saying good things about JS, dang. Yeah. If Marilyn comes over here talking about this JS guy, he's got to be crazy. How about don't do that? Don't do that, please. Look, Yoda comes in here like once every 6 months and he thinks he knows how I do this. How about when in Deuteronomy, when it talks about the slave girl, and I covered what the atheists say about that, they say that's a Bible verse that justifies grape. And I went in and thoroughly debunked that. So you don't know what you're talking about, Yoda. I thought you were finally using your head for something other than a hair hat after you were pressured into cutting that mop off your mug. Pressured? Okay. You're an idiot. It's a big Bible thing. Little Bible thing? She said Josh is over there doing his little Bible thing. His little Bible thing. He doing his little Bible thing. All right, mama. How's your little Bible thing going? It's not a little Bible thing. It's a big Bible thing. Yeah, Maryland is bad publicity. Please do not ever mention my name ever anywhere, Maryland, ever again. God, that's horrible. That's the worst. I will definitely buy a piece of that rat tail. You want to buy a dreadlock friendship bracelet? $50. $50. I'll send you a dread. You finally caved and acted right by cutting off your dreads. I said when I get to 5,000 subscribers, I was going to cut them. I was talking about cutting them off not before I started YouTube, but before I started streaming. And it took me 3 years to commit to it. So you don't know what you're talking about. Once again, watch Donobot 2.0 is finna send twice as much to Israel. Oh, Donbot finna send twice as much to Israel. Can you cast a dread in resin? I don't know. People hate me so much they have to follow me around. This isn't politic time, goon. We're talking about how men should not get with strange women. It's biblical. It's biblical. Go read Ezra 9 and 10. That's your homework for this week, goon. It can't get weirder than Marilyn owning a dreadlock of Josh's. Yeah, $50 for one dreadlock, and you can wrap it around your wrist as a bracelet, or maybe it'll fit around your neck. If you buy 3 of them, I'll braid them together, and you'll have a triple friendship bracelet. I hit the like though. All right. I'll accept that. I will accept that. All right. I'm done reading. What time is it? It's noon. I'm surprised he said yes. Surely he thinks I'm a witch. I said I would sell. I said I'm selling them. I was serious. Nobody's bought any yet. I'm gonna give you a junky one though. You gotta pay extra for the thick boys. How big do you think my wrist is? Well, you can wrap it around a couple times. Or you can make a necklace. I think we measured them. They're like 18 inches long or something. I can't remember. I know. She wants to do some voodoo. She wants to do some dang voodoo witchcraft on me. I think I'm too far away, though. I think I'll be all right. The power of Christ compels me. Amazing. Yeah, it won't work on Christians. Only hair I touch is hubby's. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. She's gonna. Oh, my. Oh, Maryland. Maryland. I got a cinnamon stick. Chew on cinnamon sticks. It's supposed to help you quit smoking. Because you can puff on it, chew on it, keep it in your fingers, pretend it's a cigarette, and it has a little bit of flavor to it, a little bit of spiciness, kind of like a cigarette. Cinnamon stick. A little voodoo dread, Josh. You ready for bed, Echo? What about bedtime? All right. All right. Let's see. Who's going? TBY, technically the Bible never says you can't buy somebody's dreadlocks. Hi, Josh. Hope everyone is having a great day. Me, myself, and I is always so positive. He's always so positive. You want to go to Rob, Jim Bob, or Anchor Baby? Put it in the chat. You want to go to Rob, Jim Bob, or Anchor Baby? My vape on a lanyard? My vape on a lanyard? You can make a lanyard out of my dreadlock. Thou shalt not chew on cinnamon sticks on the Sabbath. Oh my gosh. I give 3 options and me, myself, and I picks 2 of them. That doesn't help me. Jim Boob. Jim Boob.
Boo, Jim Boob. Wow. Oh.
All right. We'll do that. HJM? What's H Jim? Okay, we got a bunch of votes for Jim Bob. Tell him the dirty heretic sent you. Tell him the chair sent you. I'm going to go to bed. Maybe we'll play some Dying Light tonight. It will be a delight. Maybe a fright. Feeling all right. Flying a kite. Go to sleep. I am going to sleep. It's bedtime. But while I go to sleep, I got to watch. I'm watching Dexter New Blood. So I'm going to have all the Dexter shows done. I'm on the last one, which is when he's a teenager. It's pretty good so far. I'm only on the 3rd episode, but all right. God bless, guys. Have a good one. Thank you for the super chats, Marilyn. You're crazy, but we love you. They are crazy over there. Well, you're pretty crazy. I don't know. That's the pot calling the kettle black if I ever seen it myself. Hit me up for a dreadlock. All right. God bless, guys. Peace.